Have you ever wondered why some cars barely make it past 100,000 miles, while others cruise effortlessly to 500,000? The answer isn't luck or magic. It's about following the right habits and ignoring the wrong advice. Most car manufacturers don't actually want your vehicle lasting forever because they're in the business of selling new cars, not preserving old ones. Today, I'm sharing 17 battle-tested habits that can transform your daily driver into a legendary machine that runs strong for decades. These aren't theoretical tips from someone who's never held a wrench. These come from real-world experience, from mechanics who've seen engines die at 60,000 miles, and others that purr at 300,000. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to join the exclusive club of drivers whose cars outlast their mortgages. Before we jump in, if you find value in tips that save you thousands on car repairs, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way, you won't miss any weekly hacks to keep your ride running like new. If you've already been using any of these habits, let us know in the comments below. Let's start with habit number 17. And this one alone could save you thousands. Follow the 5,000-mile oil rule, not what your owner's manual tells you. I know this sounds controversial, but hear me out. That 10,000-mile interval printed in your manual wasn't designed to maximize engine life. It was designed to make your car look low maintenance on paper, helping with sales and lease agreements. Marketing departments love those extended intervals because they make ownership appear cheaper and more convenient. But here's what actually happens inside your engine during those extended intervals. Oil doesn't just get dirty, it transforms into something completely different. Around the 7,000-mile mark, it starts forming sludge that coats your engine's internal components like thick syrup. Metal particles suspended in the oil create an abrasive paste that grinds away at precision surfaces. Your timing chain tensioners, variable valve timing systems, and cam phasers start wearing prematurely. You won't notice it today, but in 5 years when these systems start failing, you'll be looking at repair bills that could have bought a decent used car. The smartest mechanics I know recommend changing oil every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, regardless of what the manual says. This becomes even more critical if you drive in stop-and-go traffic, take frequent short trips, live in dusty conditions, or regularly tow heavy loads. These real-world driving conditions are much harder on oil than the laboratory testing used to establish those extended intervals. Always pair fresh oil with a quality filter, preferably an original equipment manufacturer part rather than the cheapest option on the shelf. Moving to habit number 16, transmission fluid changes that could prevent a $4,000 disaster. Unlike engine oil, transmission fluid doesn't get regular attention from most drivers. It's sealed inside the transmission, quietly doing its job until one day it isn't. The dangerous myth perpetuated by many manufacturers is that transmission fluid is lifetime fluid. But whose lifetime are we talking about? Certainly not your car's. Here's what actually happens to that supposedly lifetime fluid. With every shift, every hill climb, every traffic jam, the fluid heats up and breaks down. Microscopic particles from clutch plates and bands contaminate it. Metal shavings from gears create an abrasive mixture that looks deceptively normal from the outside. The fluid might still appear red and smell fine, but internally it's loaded with debris that's grinding your transmission to death. The smart move is a drain and fill service every 60,000 miles for conventional vehicles, or 90,000 for hybrids with their gentler operating cycles. Never attempt a full flush if the fluid has been neglected for years, because you might dislodge debris that's actually holding worn components together. Always use the exact fluid specified by your manufacturer. Toyota vehicles need Toyota World Standard fluid. Honda requires their specific ATF DW1 formula, and mixing universal fluids is asking for expensive trouble. Habit number 15 involves your cooling system, and ignoring this one can destroy your engine in a single overheating event. Coolant doesn't last forever, despite what some people believe. Over time, it becomes acidic rather than protective. This acidic coolant eats away at your water pump seals, corrodes metal components, and clogs your heater core. Worst of all, it can cause head gasket failures that turn your reliable transportation into expensive scrap metal. The warning signs are usually subtle at first. You might notice a sweet smell coming from the engine bay, see occasional white smoke from the exhaust, or find yourself adding coolant to the reservoir more frequently than normal. These aren't mysteries to solve later. They're urgent warnings that your cooling system is crying for help. A $70 coolant flush could prevent a several $1,000 engine rebuild. Change your coolant every 3 to 5 years, depending on the type your vehicle uses. Never mix different coolant formulations, and don't trust universal products that claim to work in everything. Each cooling system is engineered for specific chemical properties, and using the wrong coolant can create corrosion problems worse than using plain water. Habit number 14 addresses timing belts, one of the most critical yet overlooked components in your engine. The owner's manual might suggest replacement at 100,000 miles or 10 years, but that's often too late for real-world reliability. By 60 to 80,000 miles, most timing belts show signs of cracking from heat exposure, oil contamination, and constant tension stress. What makes timing belts particularly dangerous is that they typically fail without warning. You won't hear squealing or grinding like you might with other belts. One moment your engine is running normally. The next moment, pistons and valves are colliding inside your engine, often causing damage that costs more than the vehicle is worth. This is especially true for interference engines, where the pistons and valves occupy the same space at different times. When you do replace the timing belt, always change the tensioner, idler pulley, and water pump at the same time. These components wear together, and skipping them means you'll be paying for the same labor twice when they fail shortly after your belt replacement. If your timing belt is hidden behind covers or other components, have it inspected during major services rather than waiting for symptoms that may never come. Habit number 13 focuses on spark plugs, those small components that can cause massive problems when neglected. Worn spark plugs create weak sparks that lead to incomplete combustion, engine misfires, and raw fuel being dumped into your catalytic converter. That $60 set of neglected plugs can easily cause $3,000 in catalytic converter damage. Most 100,000-mile spark plugs don't actually make it past 60,000 miles in real-world conditions, especially in turbocharged engines or direct injection systems where carbon buildup accelerates wear. Short trips, stop-and-go traffic, and lower-quality gasoline make the problem worse. For maximum reliability, stick with premium spark plugs from reputable manufacturers like NGK, Denso, Bosch, or your vehicle's original equipment supplier. When you remove spark plugs for inspection or replacement, examine them carefully for signs of oil or coolant contamination. Wet or crusted tips indicate leaks that need immediate attention. Oil on spark plugs might point to failing valve cover gaskets, while coolant contamination could signal serious internal engine damage requiring professional diagnosis. Habit number 12 involves your fuel filter, a component that protects your entire fuel system from contamination. As you drive, microscopic dirt, rust particles, and debris gradually clog this filter. The more restricted it becomes, the harder your fuel pump works to maintain pressure. Eventually, the pump burns out from the excessive workload, turning a $40 filter replacement into a $500 to $1,000 fuel pump job. Most vehicles need fuel filter replacement every 30 to 60,000 miles, with older vehicles typically requiring more frequent service. If you drive in dusty conditions, tow regularly, or use lower quality gasoline, consider more frequent replacements. Always use original equipment or name brand filters from companies like Bosch, Motorcraft, or AC Delco. Cheap aftermarket filters can deteriorate from ethanol in modern gasoline, potentially contaminating your fuel system with filter fibers. Habit number 11 addresses brake fluid, the forgotten fluid that keeps you alive on the road. Brake fluid is hygroscopic, meaning it naturally absorbs moisture from the air over time. After 7 to 10 years, brake fluid can contain enough water to dramatically lower its boiling point, potentially causing brake failure during heavy use. Fresh .3 brake fluid boils around 400 degrees Fahrenheit, while .4 handles 446 degrees. But once contaminated with moisture, that boiling point can drop to less than 300 degrees. During hard braking, especially on mountain roads or in stop-and-go traffic, the fluid can actually boil, creating air bubbles that make your brake pedal feel soft and dramatically increase stopping distances. You can test your brake fluid's condition with an inexpensive moisture tester, available at most auto parts stores. If the moisture content exceeds 3%, schedule a brake fluid flush immediately. This simple test can prevent brake system failure that could be fatal in emergency situations. Habit number 10 covers differential and transfer case service, components that many drivers forget exist until they fail catastrophically. Your differential allows wheels to rotate at different speeds during turns, while the transfer case in all-wheel drive vehicles distributes power between front and rear axles. Both rely on heavy gear oil to lubricate and cool their internal components under extreme pressure. Over time, this oil breaks down and becomes contaminated with metal particles from normal gear wear. The oil turns into an abrasive slurry that accelerates component wear, leading to whining noises, vibrations, and eventual complete failure. Once these components fail, you're typically looking at replacement costs that can exceed the vehicle's value. Change differential and transfer case oil every 30 to 50,000 miles if you tow regularly, drive off-road, or frequently use all-wheel drive systems. The service involves draining the old oil, cleaning magnetic drain plugs that collect metal particles, and refilling with the exact specification gear oil recommended by your manufacturer. Habit number 9 involves the PCV valve, a small component that prevents dangerous pressure buildup inside your engine. When this valve fails, crankcase pressure increases dramatically, forcing oil past seals and gaskets. You'll notice increased oil consumption, oil leaks, and rough engine operation. A $10 PCV valve replacement can prevent hundreds or thousands of dollars in gasket repairs. Most PCV valves should be replaced every 30 to 50,000 miles, though this varies by vehicle and driving conditions. The replacement process is usually straightforward, involving removing the old valve from the valve cover or intake manifold and installing a new one. Always check the connecting hose for cracks or deterioration while you're performing this service. Habit number 8 focuses on the mass airflow sensor, which measures incoming air so your engine's computer can calculate the proper fuel mixture. When this sensor becomes contaminated with oil or dirt, it provides incorrect readings that cause rough idle, hesitation, poor fuel economy, and check engine lights with codes like P101 or P104. Before replacing an expensive mass airflow sensor, try cleaning it with specialized MAF sensor cleaner spray. Remove the sensor from the intake tube, disconnect the electrical connector, and carefully spray the sensing elements without touching them. Allow the sensor to air dry completely before reinstallation. This $10 cleaning can often restore proper operation and eliminate the need for a costly replacement. Habit number 7 addresses tire alignment, which affects much more than just tire wear. Proper alignment ensures your tires make optimal contact with the road surface, maximizing traction and fuel efficiency while minimizing component wear. Misalignment causes uneven tire wear, reduces fuel economy, and puts additional stress on suspension components. Check your alignment every 6,000 miles or whenever you notice uneven tire wear, steering wheel vibration, or the vehicle pulling to one side. Don't wait for these symptoms to become severe, as the damage accumulates quickly. Professional alignment service typically costs $75 to $100, but can prevent premature tire replacement and expensive suspension repairs. Habit number 6 warns against cold engine revving, one of the fastest ways to damage internal engine components. When your engine is cold, oil is thick and hasn't had time to circulate to all moving parts. Revving a cold engine forces metal components to operate with minimal lubrication, causing accelerated wear to pistons, bearings, and other critical parts. The proper warm-up procedure is simple, but crucial. Start the engine and let it idle for 30 seconds to build oil pressure. Then drive gently, while keeping engine speed below 3,000 RPM until the temperature gauge begins to rise. This gradual warm-up protects internal components while getting you on your way quickly. Habit number 5 addresses excessive idling, which many drivers believe is harmless, but actually causes several problems. Extended idling reduces oil pressure, starves upper engine components of lubrication, and allows unburned fuel to contaminate the oil and build carbon deposits in the intake system. These deposits can cause expensive cleaning procedures later, particularly in direct injection engines. Instead of extended idling, start your engine and drive gently after a brief warm-up period. This approach warms all fluids and components more effectively, while avoiding the problems associated with prolonged idling. Your engine, fuel economy, and wallet will all benefit from this simple change in habits. Habit number 4 involves washing your vehicle's undercarriage regularly, especially during winter months when road salt accelerates corrosion. Salt doesn't just make things dirty, it actively corrodes metal components, including brake lines, fuel lines, suspension parts, and the vehicle's frame structure. This hidden corrosion can cause catastrophic failures that endanger your safety. Rinse your undercarriage monthly during winter driving season, or weekly if you live in areas with heavy salt use. Don't rely on basic car washes that only clean visible surfaces. You need high-pressure water directed at the frame, suspension components, and wheel wells where corrosive materials accumulate. Habit number 3 emphasizes the importance of maintaining clean battery terminals. Corrosion builds up on battery terminals much faster than most people realize, especially in hot climates or with frequent short-trip driving. This corrosion blocks electrical current, strains your charging system, and can cause starting problems even with a good battery. Clean battery terminals every few months using a mixture of baking soda and water, scrubbing with an old toothbrush to remove all corrosion. Rinse thoroughly with clean water, dry completely, and apply a thin coating of dielectric grease or petroleum jelly to prevent future buildup. This simple maintenance prevents electrical problems and extends battery life. Habit number 2 involves paying attention to unusual sounds your vehicle makes. Every strange noise is your car communicating a potential problem before it becomes a major failure. Squealing brakes might indicate worn pads that can be replaced inexpensively, but ignoring the sound leads to rotor damage and much higher repair costs. Clicking sounds during turns often indicate failing CV joints that will eventually leave you stranded. Turn down your radio occasionally and listen to your vehicle. A healthy car should operate smoothly and quietly. When you hear something unusual, investigate promptly, rather than hoping it will go away. Early intervention almost always costs less than waiting for complete component failure. Finally, habit number 1 is maintaining detailed records of all services and repairs. Most people rely on memory for maintenance schedules. But memory is unreliable when it comes to complex maintenance requirements, spread across thousands of miles and multiple years. Keep a logbook in your glove compartment or use a smartphone app to track every service, noting dates, mileage, and work performed. Detailed maintenance records serve multiple purposes beyond helping you stay current with services. They boost resale value by demonstrating care and attention. They provide warranty protection by documenting proper maintenance. They help identify patterns that might indicate developing problems. Most importantly, they prevent minor issues from becoming major expenses through simple neglect. These 17 habits take a bit of effort and attention, but the payoff is massive in reliability, safety, and long-term savings. The truth is, cars don't die because of bad luck. They die because people wait too long, skip the basics, or rely on myths instead of time-tested maintenance. The vehicles that make it to 300,000 or even 500,000 miles aren't miracles. They're just well-cared-for machines in the hands of informed drivers. Following these habits doesn't just protect your engine, it protects your schedule, your finances, and your peace of mind. You'll sidestep surprise breakdowns, cut down on repair bills, and gain something most drivers don't have: real control over your vehicle's future. It's the difference between chasing problems and preventing them altogether. If this video helped you think differently about how you care for your car, even if it was just one tip, consider subscribing to Auto Care Compass. This channel is your go-to source for straight-talking, high-impact car care content. No gimmicks, no guesswork. Just reliable tips that work, delivered weekly so you always stay one step ahead of expensive repairs. Give this video a like if it helped you. Share it with a friend, a family member, or even your group chat someone you know is overdue for a reality check under the hood. And drop your thoughts in the comments. Got a question? A weird noise you're trying to diagnose? Or just a topic you want us to tackle? We read every comment, and your feedback fuels future videos. Thanks for watching. Stay smart, stay consistent, and drive with confidence. You're not just extending your car's life, you're driving smarter than 90% of people on the road. And at Auto Care Compass, we've got your back every mile of the way.